Hello out there, it's Mama Trip with part 2 of her pre-loved series. I know I just referred to myself in the third person. That's weird. I don't know why I did that. I don't normally do that. But I'm going to keep it in there because, how we do stuff and the weird stuff that comes out of our mouth is authentic, and I just want to be authentic for you guys. So, part 2, these are the reasons that I look to the pre-loved market, and so I thought today would be a great day to bust out my agenda cover from Louis Vuitton. I love the Damier graphite, I guess it's called. And let's go with yellow today because yellow is such a sunny, happy color. Okay. So, all right, if you're enjoying this series or my content so far, please join the family, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Let us know down below what other kind of videos you'd like us to do, because you're getting an idea of all the things that we can have. So, if you have some requests of more in-depth reviews or what fits, that kind of stuff. I mean, of course, I have a bunch of ideas of what I want to do, but I would gladly do your videos first, guys. Okay, so these are the reasons that I myself buy pre-loved items. So the first and one of the most major reasons is can't afford or don't want to, right, spend that much money. So either the product that you want you've been priced out of, or the product that you want you just can't stomach spending that much money. So a good example of this would be my jumbos. So I will never ever buy a new jumbo ever again. One, because I cannot drop that much money at one time. Sure, I could save up over time for it, but then I don't want to spend that much money on a bag ever. One item. So that's why I go pre-loved, because again, you can get some fairly decent deals if you hunt for them, and you may have to fudge a little bit on quality, although I did not have to with my pink one, my berry colored lambskin jumbo. But you may have to, like for my single flap jumbo, to get it around 4,000. I did have to kind of accept that the top part would be not as structured as some of the ones that are $6,000, but the $2,000 difference, I would totally accept that difference for me. Plus, I wanted it to be like well loved and vintagey feeling, just not destroyed, and kind of like dingy looking. So this is the very first reason that I look to pre-loved, because, a lot of times you can get a better deal for it. So the second reason that I look for pre-loved is either I'm specifically looking for a vintage item, so like my granny bag that I showed you in the previous video, the kiss lock one with the top handle, or it's been discontinued. So a good example of this one is this specific bag right here. So this bag, when this came out, I wanted it so bad, but at that point in my life I was still just a student, and this was like an aspirational bag for me. I imagined myself carrying it, all fancy to lunch with my friends, when I was all settled in a career and family, and I imagined, being all fancy and just carrying around shopping, carrying around to work, just my every occasion bag. But at the time that this bag came out, it was really the most I could afford was Forever 21, and sporadically, if that. I remember saving up a lot to get, a BB dress for a special occasion. So that's kind of where I was financially at the time, working odd jobs while in school, just to be able to, again, get fast fashion, Forever 21, that kind of thing. And so by the time I could afford this bag, it's long gone, right? Because it's a seasonal bag. So the only way to get it was pre-loved. And I hunted for a long time for this specific colorway. And I finally found it and I purchased it. And it's never ever leaving my sight. This is, this was the bag that I always wanted. And it's just, I look at it, it makes me so happy, because it not only represents, the beauty and the aesthetic that I love. So it's not just pleasing to me to look at, but it represents all the hard work that I've gone through and where I am today. So love that bag. And yep, so discontinued or vintage. The third reason is because I just want to try a brand. So brands that I've never ever had experience with, maybe they don't have a local store with me. So a good example of this is Givenchy. So I never had one before, and some of the style seemed very intriguing to me, and I didn't want to order from, like Saks or something and spend thousands of dollars and then discover that I didn't necessarily like it, because I wanted to use it. I don't want to just sit it at home with the tags on, cut the tags off. I want to use them on a daily basis. I want to see how the leather holds up, how the corners hold up, because each brand is a little bit different on their craftsmanship. How heavy is the bag? Are there any weird things to it, like the buckles? Do they come off easy? Is it easy to open, get in and out of? Do the zippers hurt my hands? So tons and tons of things to consider that are very brand specific. Sometimes I look to the pre-loved market to try a brand out and see how I like them. There are tons of brands I don't have anything from, right? YSL, Celine, Bottega, so many brands, nothing. So I think that probably, unless my lifestyle, my vibe, my aesthetic changes and that brand becomes really something that I look into and I'm gonna love, then yeah, maybe I buy new in boutique. But to try it out, to see if the brand goes with me, then I probably look to the pre-loved market to try an item first to see how it fit with me. The fourth reason is that there is currently an item that is very popular. So the only way to get it, so my sales associate can't get it, I can't find it anywhere myself, it's going to disappear soon, it might be a limited edition, something about it makes it impossible for me to find on my own, then pre-loved is the only way to go. But the caveat to this is that you have to be willing to pay. So it's kind of the opposite of this, right? So you are willing to pay the money for that item. And this has actually never happened to me, but I never pulled the trigger, but I have looked for certain things that I missed out on or didn't want. And one of the things is my blue Speedy 20 in the empreinte leather. I really thought after I got that one that I wished I had gotten the Pochette Matisse in that leather. And there are some on the pre-loved market, but right now they're a little bit more, right? So again, you have to be willing to pay. They're a little bit more than I'd be willing to pay for. And so I'm going to kind of wait until maybe there are more of them on the pre-loved market, so they outcompete each other, or they're not as sought after. But that is another option of why to go to the pre-loved market, because you can get brand new items that have never been used that are currently popular, but you have to be willing to pay the upsell for them. And then kind of the last thing that I go to pre-loved for is something that I've done several times, and it's just to have fun, right? So there are some items that are very trendy that I know are going to be not forever, right? It's like a yearbook, not forever. And a great example of this is the Balenciaga City bag. So I have the black one with the original size hardware, but I thought, how fun would it be to have some colors of the City bag and in the giant hardware? I know that I don't want them forever. They're not my vibe, but I think they'd be so fun to use, for a short period of time. So I spent a couple $100. I got this bright pink one and this neon green one, and I wore them to death for a couple of months. They just made me so happy, but it flames out, right? So it's kind of like, you're a puppy love. So it's a love that just burns bright and then burns out, and then it wasn't meant to be. And so you just sell it back. I mean, of course you don't sell it back for what you bought it for, but you get something back and you used it, you loved it, you had fun with it. Totally worth it to me, especially bags like that, because they're not thousands of dollars on the pre-loved market. You can get things that are maybe older styles and odder colors for sometimes hundreds of dollars, So it's a place to just have fun with things that that you're not going to love forever, that are just something that you think are cool right now, that you have a specific need for. So maybe you're going on a trip and you just want your photos to have pops of colors, so just, it's some place where you can have fun without breaking the bank. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you can resonate with these 5 reasons that I look to the pre-loved market for. And if you have any other reasons that you go pre-loved, leave a comment down below. Share with the community, share with me, so I can, maybe consider some other reasons why I should go pre-loved as well. And oh, I guess it's not part of the reason I actually do it, but I guess people say, it's good for the environment. It's the green way to shop luxury because you're not forcing production of new things and using up new materials. But it's not one of the 5 reasons I go pre-loved, even though I do try to minimize my carbon footprint. Buying pre-loved probably increases my carbon footprint, honestly, because of the shipping. So I don't know how that balances out with, buying a bag that has not using material versus the shipping that the carbon footprint that goes up there. So I honestly don't know how that balances out, but it's not a consideration. Just these 5 things so far for me. Yeah. Okay, subscribe, like button, all those YouTube things, and then I'll see you in the third one.